21 minutes delay to getting this stream started. Qualifying is just about finished, but we've made it just in time. I'm back with Ollie this week, and I'm kind of glad because apart from losing my voice last week, it is the Monaco Grand Prix, and you always need a little bit of help. Now, Ollie, you've heard me for the last 20 minutes, a bitch and moan about not getting this all worked, so I'm hoping it's all good, and I'm just going to let you take over for a second to make sure it is working my side, or otherwise, things will go bad.
Copy, not to worry, Gareth. Yeah, hello everybody. Apologies for not being able to attend last week. Unfortunately, I was feeling a bit under the weather, but qualifying is just about finished here, and it looks like Binary has gone even quicker than he already had. Wow, he is 9/10 quicker than anybody else on circuit at the moment here in Monaco, and it looks like he's put on pole. But yeah, like I said, a long way over Light Shock in second and Sloppy Cop finishing in P3 here in qualifying. So it's been Monaco, as many people know, and Gareth, I'm sure you're aware, is a tricky circuit to say the least. And if you were to propose it in the current age of F1, you'd get a stock no, because it is such a wild and wacky circuit that how it still is allowed in the F1 calendar I will never know. But it's good to have it on here, and it's probably the biggest challenge for the drivers on the calendar. I mean, Singapore was close, but nothing really matches it with regard to how tricky and how much concentration each driver needs throughout the qualifying and the race, because it is a long old race to twist and dive around this principality in the south of France. But Binary puts it on pole with Light Shock in second, Sloppy Cop in P3, Master Swain, the champion leader, in fourth, Stracker P5, Niels in sixth, Gunhead seventh, Madman in eighth, Squiddy Genie down in ninth, his Irish compatriot Pingers in 10th, Dolly in 11th, Meady 12th, Nuthead down in 13th, Chris in 14th, Cam in 15th, Pickled Avenger in 16th, and that rounds off qualifying. Gareth, hopefully all audio is all good and we're ready to rock and roll for the race.
To be perfectly honest, it sounds pretty spot on. So how I've managed to get it working pretty decently, I'm sure if it doesn't, Pingers will let me know. But it's nonetheless, it's an interesting one out there, and there is rain in the race. After 20 minutes, apparently, there will be light rain, 45 heavy rain. Now, this isn't because I've heard it from Sloppy. As he says, there's rain all the time. This is actually a more reliable source, sorry, Sloppy, in the face of Light Shock himself. So while we're waiting, I guess it could be apt for me to just quickly say there is 16 drivers here this week. It's that's quite a number for Monaco Grand Prix. I know a lot of people just tend to disappear at this point for this race, but it's still 16 out of 20. That's pretty good going. Quite good numbers for the night. And well, after last week's race, I will just refresh myself with it if I can get the standings up. There we go. Obviously, the top three in the championship are starting to flex their muscles a little bit. Sinful Chris did finish fourth as well, but it was a binary victory. Master Swain in P3 and Light Shock in P2. I've done that the wrong way round, a bit cack-handedly, the podium there. But is this kind of how you think this season's now going to go? It's just going to be survival of the fittest with those four?
I don't want to say yes, but maybe. It's not that big of a gap though, guys, to be honest. I mean, there's a big gap between Master Swain and Light Shock, but there is that good fight between the rest of the drivers, and I'm hoping Master Swain gets dragged back into it there's still plenty more rounds left of the season, so I'm hoping it doesn't the way you said, stay within that group. I'm hoping we get as many drivers involved as possible, but we're going to have to wait and see. And I think today is really going to be make or break. I mean, Matt Swain I hope he doesn't. But if he does bin it at one point, he's going to lose a huge lead to the rest of the drivers in the standings.
Well, Monaco's also that track that it can throw up anything, and generally does, because people do tend to lose their front wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a front wing graveyard here in Monaco at times, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the teams have bought 3, 4, 5 front wings just in case they hit the wall here in Monaco. I just noticed they've got the new pits in the game as well. They're a lot higher than they used to be in. I didn't realise they were so high. And just a quick note while we were looking at qualifying. Sorry, qualifying. The drivers get ready. They are quite big.
Yes, yeah, they are. That's I swear it wasn't like this when I did my career mode around here, to be honest. But I could be wrong. Now, before we get down to the nitty gritty, something we do like to do is the front wing lottery. And
front wing lottery.
Yeah, we like to do it at Monaco because there's always a fair amount of front wings lost. Now, throughout all the leagues, we asked drivers to come in to say how many front wings do you think the whole 4 leagues will lose. I think I've gone somewhere with 57, but to be perfectly honest, I did
57.
I did it at the start of the week, and I can't even remember. But I think I have gone for that high. Obviously, there's 4 leagues.
Okay.
If there's 20 drivers per league, and if everyone loses a front wing, and those in that, if there's then 80. Obviously, there's only 16 today, but I'm kind of forcing you to enter because you're my co-commentator. But there is a prize. There is a prize of I think it's £10 at the end of it, Xbox money. So, and that comes from Mr. Tazo. So, what's your answer basically?
I was hoping you were going to say 10 real pounds. I go to the pub and spend it, but of course I can't go to the pub because I'm on lockdown. So, £10 Xbox money is a lot more useful. You have a 57. Let's go for a number of 60 then.
60. Okay, I'll message him now, so he's got your answer.
Fantastic.
And what I should do as well, I should get the track map up as well. I know the names, but I feel like I'm going to get them mixed up if I don't.
They can. There are a lot of names for the corners here.
And the swimming pool section, which I cannot pronounce. There's a better name for it, but I can't pronounce it. But we should really get ready for the detailed positional changes. I feel really off guard with that little bit of a panic start. But let's have a look. Let's go on board with light shock to start. We're on 3 lights, 4, 5 lights, and away we go. And that's a really good start from Sloppy, actually, and light shock trying to get around the outside of Binary into turn 1. Is it going to do it? He's got the lead into turn 1, but it's so tight. It's over. No, it's not. Has he? It's still side by side. Light shock isn't giving up. Neither is Binary. They're still there, but Binary finally takes the lead. And Sloppy then up the inside of Light shock, around into, just into near the Grand Hotel, Marabou, that's it. And it's all started to settle down. And there is a safety car. For what?
There shouldn't. It looks like it's a severe collision between Madman and Pingers. Pingers got a 5-second penalty, but Madman is intense, so I'm not sure how that's managed to happen. There will be a front wing change for Pickled Avenger with half front wing on the left side, but safety car really on here in Monaco on lap number 1. I'm not actually surprised, but I'm surprised the fact that they're all still driving. But it looks like there's a Renault stuck on circuit. I'm not sure who that is though. I looked at my map quickly.
I think that's a safety car.
Oh no, sorry. That is that was really silly of me. That is a safety car.
Don't worry, I've done that before. But with the when it comes up with the engineer's light when your teammate's gone into the pits.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a problem with the car not going into the pits. Awkward.
Oh dear, commentator's mistake there. But no one's crashed out, so I'm not sure why it's a safety car needed as such.
Now I'm not surprised in this case that no one's gone into the pit really to do much, but people are going into the pits. But there is rain, but we don't know when it's happening. So the soft runners could end up in like not in it. Well, this safety car, I think, is what I'm trying to say. I think is this safety car has made them get the advantage, eke that life out on the softs a little bit longer, so they can get to the rain. Where these people who have gone into the pits may have made a mistake, or on the other foot, shoe on the other foot kind of style, they've made the perfect strategy. The rain is going to come out just after the soft runners have gone into the pits.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what these guys do now. Can they last on the soft tyres, or will the guys on the harder tyre they're already stuck on last longer just until the race, the rain section of the Grand Prix? The one person who's had a bad start, but he's managed to do all right out of this is Pickle the Avenger. He's still in last, but he was held up at the pit stop. He had a 5-second stop go and a front wing change, and he's still technically in the race because we're under the safety car, so he can get back into the Grand Prix, luckily for the man in 16th. Look at the rest of the drivers. The real winners and losers: Squidgy Genius down 6 places, and then Joy up 3, which up 3 positions on the start here in Monaco is not easy. By the stretch of the imagination, it's difficult to overtake at this circuit.
It definitely is, and I'd just quickly go back on the start. I know I was a little bit flabbergasted with what was going on. Binary and Light Shock side by side through the section that they've just gone through now. That's some really great driving from those two, because you don't usually see that, and with neither of them giving up, I was a little bit worried that someone was going to lose a little bit more than a front wing, but they pulled through there.
Yeah, you usually don't, by the time you get to turn 3 at Mazanet, it is single file by then, but they managed to go side by side through there and almost side by side through Casino, but that wall on the left side comes very close very quickly, so don't think they were able to, they didn't go side by side through there, and Binary just about held the lead or Lightshot, but it was good to see side by side up that whole section, and hopefully Lightshot can pester Binary as on the restart of this race, and we have a good scrap for the lead. And it is difficult, like we already said, to overtake. There are very few places, and you need mistakes from the drivers in front to capitalise on those mistakes, but hopefully the top 3 have a good battle on the rest of the drivers as the safety car is in on lap number 3.
And it's just in time, because Pickled and Profit and the lights down at the back have just caught up with the guys, well, the main group. So we'll wait for Binary. When is he going to go? Is he going to do a Bottas, or is he going to... No, he's gone on Anthony Nodes and kind of left Lightshock in a little bit of trouble with Sloppy coming down behind him, but nothing to it. But those 4 have really pulled away immediately from the rest of the group again. And it's nice to see the Dutchman of Niels 998 up in the bigger start side of the points, and I do feel he's going to... Ooh, there was an overtake back there. Not that it will let me go to it, between Simple Chris and Xbox Nuthead. So I'm not sure what happened between those two.
Yeah, Chris went round the outside of Nuthead. He was side by side coming across the start-finish line and went round the outside. They were side by side coming up to Mazanet, and he got past a fantastic overtake by Chris in the Alpha.
Now, while it's... Look at the gap already between forming at the top. Niels is starting to pull away a bit from Stracker as well. But if you were, say, Sloppy or maybe Master Swain in this, would you have pitted under the safety car just to try that different strategy that everyone else was so determined not to try, it looked like?
I personally wouldn't, on the basis that the cars were still very close together, and if they had pitted, they would have dropped right to the back of the grid. And Monaco, as you already said, difficult to overtake. It's not like Monza or Spa where they can gain these places back. It is difficult, so I think staying out was the better strategy and waiting till the rain hits. But the top 4 now are really getting away, like you said, away from Niels, who is got Stracker all over his gearbox here in Monaco, and there are gaps starting to form at the lower echelon of the top 10.
Yeah, eking out a little bit, and a few people holding up a few other people, and obviously with the track as it is, difficult to overtake. It's always tough. You've got to be thinking a different strategy. You've got to be thinking 2 steps or 2 tyre lengths ahead. Sorry, that was a really bad joke. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. And I think it's quite an interesting thought, though, that this track has got exactly the same amount of full throttle percentage as Baku. And you see, Baku is a similar track, but it's got that massive long straight on it.
I never knew that. Interesting fact, that. Wow. And I mean, I guess because it's such a small track, and a lot of it, again, in fairness, for such a small circuit, you are flat out for quite a bit of it, as Master Swain is looking very racy now. Gareth behind Sloppy Copy is really pushing him through, and Niels has caught up as well. So trains forming here in Monaco. But Monaco, I mean, for you, Gareth, it's always hit and miss for the drivers, whether it's worth it or not. But Master Swain looks like he's going to make a move down the outside. Can't get past at the moment. He tries it, doesn't he? He's close.
Yes, sorry. The ginger fluff ball wanted to get into my room. That's the cat, by the way. Just didn't want you to think that I had a really
not
bad...
the missus.
Yeah, really bad nickname for the missus. So, yes, Master Swain is looking incredibly tight to the back of that McLaren at the moment, and he needs to, find a way past. But as a commentator for Monaco, it's always a tough one. It really does depend on the action that's brought out. The rain is going to help, I think, for us, and also the commentary duo as well, because it's so hard to do this track on your own as a solo commentator. But I guess that's about it, really. Apart from just, as a commentator, you have to bring out all these different random facts about Monaco, or about just to keep things going. I guess I've got a few more in my back pocket ready for when I think you need it.
Fantastic. I once fell asleep in a commentary around Monaco. Oh, and that's Niels into the wall at to back, and that's half a front wing for the Alfa Romeo driver. There's no end plates left on that car. Strack goes up the inside as well through Raskas, and another pit stop for the Alphas, and that's another front wing. Hopefully he gets a 60 for my prediction, but that's not what Niels wanted. Another pit stop before the rain hits. No,
not at all. So that's 2 of your 60 and 2 of my 57 if I did have 57. So yeah, you were saying about the
Yes, I once fell asleep during commentary around Monaco because there were only 6 drivers left in the Grand Prix, and they were spaced out by about 10 seconds each, and it was raining, so they were all going very slowly. I won't mention what league it was, because I
up
don't
the
know
inside, Simple Chris of Madman, but it nearly worked out. I'm glad I went on board with that one, because I'm just trying to find something different, but that was incredible. And we've missed Master Swain go past Sloppy Cop as well. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I don't mind being up front, but Simple Chris is trying to get back at Madman. Third time he goes left, he goes right, he goes to the outside. Will he be able to brake late? Yes, he does. Can he slow the car down enough? Yes, he can. And that Alpha is back through, up the inside, coming through the chicane, and he's moved back up into 8th place for now. But the clouds are getting dark, Gareth. When will the rain hit? Will the soft tyres be able to last until it hits? That's the question on our lips.
Yes, wow. Will these soft runners... Because if you think about it, Jolly is in prime position here. His front wing flies from somewhere. Or was that rain? Or was that tree? I think that was tree. I think that was leaves. I got really excited then. As Stracker is all over the back of Sloppy as well. Stracker is looking racy. Sloppy's lost his pace that he had from the off here, but Binary has put a 3-second gap between him and Light Shock at the front, and I think Master Swain being stuck behind Sloppy for that length of time as well hasn't helped him. Simple Chris is still all around the back of Jolly. And what I was going to say about Jolly is if those 6 in front of him have to pit before the rain starts, he is in prime position. Because effectively, he will then be in the lead of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Jolly and Chris both are in a great position with regard to rain, but it really depends when it hits and when the soft guys come in. Just a note on Sloppy Cup, why he's going so slow. He's only got half a front wing, so he's trying to hold out until he can pit and not lose his position. So that's why he's so slow up in 4th place.
That's the problem with being on board with the driver behind, is I've completely missed the fact that Sloppy is going slow. So he's hit that somewhere, and I wonder when that happened, because he was going slow for a while. So that's an interesting one. Let's throw another a little bit of a fact out there while Stracker's all over the back. It takes 6 weeks to set this track up for the Monaco Grand Prix. But only
6 weeks, wow.
But only 3 weeks to take it down.
I guess if you're trying to put in barriers, it's easier to pull it out and put it in.
Yeah. I mean, if it was me taking it down, I would just be like taking it with a sledgehammer. But no, you cannot go up there, Cat. You cannot go up there. There is nothing there. Sit on the seat. I didn't mute my mic, did I? All good. Yeah, so he's not going to leave this. He's trying to get on. It's like trying to get on top of my monitor, which is not a good idea.
That's not what you want in your when you've got cars going left, right, and centre. Since for Chris has managed to get past Jolly, coming just before Raskas, so that's another move up for Chris, and he's on a bit of a mission on the mediums, and he is in prime position once drivers come in, but it's still pretty cloudy on circuit. Still no raindrops at the moment, but we could have a situation like we had early in the season, Gareth, where the rain set up for it came out, but there were no pit stops for a long time. Was that Belgium potentially, or what was it? France, I think, where we had rain and didn't really affect the cars. I can't remember now. It's
Belgium,
a long time ago, but Belgium. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see really. But I have to say, Binary 4-second leads already. I mean, that's he's a monster at the moment. It could potentially be 3 wins in a row for the Ferrari man. Not what you want.
You'll love to see it. Now, I haven't seen the droplets of those rain when I left, or when I had initially had the issue, but there is spotlets of rain
now
at just before Anthony knows. The Raskas, that's it. How can I forget Raskas? So this really does now determine what those soft runners can get to the. If it goes to the right distance, the right weather, it's really difficult to explain. But there is a really thin line between intermediates and dry tyres.
Yep.
And it really needs 11 laps on softs here. It's probably more than they would have wanted to, but obviously that safety car would have helped them out. But as we run through the tunnel, that is going to be the most trickiest point when it gets to the inters, because those inters really do heat up in there.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky for the drivers to negotiate that tunnel. It's hard enough in the dry, but it's the drivers are definitely slowing down. Sloppy Cop and Straka struggling coming through to back now, and Simple Chris is really on a mission. He's flying through the grid. Gunhead has also got damage on his front wing as Needy's got past Pingers down 11th and 12th, but no drivers coming into the pits as of yet. Oh, a back Gunhead's into the pits. The first guy, will he go into wets? That's the question.
Now this is the big point. Whether he does or not, it's not. I don't think it's wet enough.
It looks like he's gone on to the intermediates and a front wing change for his troubles as well. Oh, he's going to lose a ton of positions, and I think he may even be at the back of the grid. Yes, he will. So Gunhead going from 11th down to last.
That's Was it 11th? Wasn't he 5th? 4th? I think he was... I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Have I lost? I'm really sorry. My mic... yeah, my mic muted itself, but not the mic on the stream.
Gareth,
so.
Binary just put it in the wall. Binary put it in the wall coming out at the back, and he's got half a front wing.
Oh, he does. It's too soon for the Inters as well. I'm certain of it. It's too soon for Inters. Will he stay out? He goes into the pits. Now, I'm certain that it's too early for Inters, but...
Yeah.
Everyone else... No, Master Swain pits. Master Swain pits. Master Swain has effectively maybe blocked what Binary has done, and he's out in front. He is out in front of Binary.
Jumped him.
Binary now has to make an overtake on track. Is this genius from the Red Bull driver, or have they both gone in too early?
I think it's a lap too early. That spray isn't there yet, and I think this lap. Next up, maybe it's a time to pit, but we've seen a lot of slow drivers. A light shock so slow through the hairpin now. I think it might be time for the tyres to come out. You can see the wet lines at the form on circuit here, and I think it's time, Gareth.
And really, actually, is that down to the tyres, or is that down to the wet weather? Because Sinful Chris is past and put a 2 second or 2.5 second gap between him and Sloppy in the first sector and a tiny bit alone. I mean, is this down for them pushing those tyres a bit too soon? Because Sinful Chris, like you said earlier, is on a mission.
You're not wrong. He's still going pretty quick actually on those medium tyres compared to the guys in soft. That could be why the softs have just run out of steam. Question is, will Sinful Chris come to the pits on this lap? That will give us an idea. He doesn't. So clearly the soft tyres are still quicker if they've got any tread left on them, and Chris stays out for another lap.
Sloppy pits and Jolly pits as well. So out of the pits with quite a commanding lead at the moment from Master Swain is Light Shock. So that's 8 seconds that he's... No, not 8 seconds, sorry. It's 8 seconds behind Sinful Chris. It's 3.5 seconds in front of Master Swain. So at the moment, unless Light Shock has problems, as I've just seen, DRS has been disabled.
Yeah, so that
is the turnover point.
Yeah, there we go. And maybe Chris has left it too long potentially, because he's already lost a second to Light Shock in about a sector and a half. So if Chris, where's he going to come out? He's going to come out just ahead of Straka potentially, or just after. We'll have to wait and see. It depends how slow he goes around the rest of sector 2 and 3.
As I've just seen, that was a really nice camera angle actually of Light Shock just going through the not Light Shock, sorry, Sinful Chris coming just out of the Nouvelle chicane, and then as he was just coming into Tabac, you saw Light Shock hit the Nouvelle chicane. It was a really nice... I don't know why I'm explaining this in detail, but it was a really nice, just cinematic piece there. But into the pits is Sinful Chris, a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's Prophet Meady. I wanted to stay on board with Sinful Chris, but and he's spun it. He's hit the corner on the Nouvelle chicane, and he's got half a front wing, and that is gutting for the Williams driver. It's not what you want in the wet, but let's have a look. I'll go on board with Straka. Will Sinful Chris come out in front? No, it's way behind Straka, and not what he would have wanted at all, Sinful Chris. And he was behind Sloppy as well. Will Gunhead... No, Gunhead is not close enough because of that damage, I think. Jolly jumped Sloppy in all that as well. So Jolly's up to P5 now, the Mercedes driver. And let's go on board with... when it looks like Binary's just pushing Master Swain around the hotel chicane, the hotel hairpin or whatever they call it these days. But through the tunnel, and there's no spray in the tunnel at all. And it looks like Swain has actually has much better grip through that part of the track. Do you think this is down to maybe set up 1 while Binary possibly go and set up 2?
Potentially, yeah. Of course, the drivers only have a select set of setups to use on in this league, and it could potentially be something so small as that. And Binary, if he wants to catch up with Light Shock, he's got to go overtake Master Swain. He's stuck on the back of him. You just can't get past him at the moment. And the thing is, there's a good little battle between Jolly, Sloppy, and Sinful Chris as well, fighting for P5. So there's battlers battling all over the circuit. But Master Swain, he can't get away from Binary at the moment. He's struggling to break that gap.
But he's not really falling out of favour with Light Shock, so that damage that Binary picked up has proved costly, and we always thought that as a 3-second time penalty goes to Cam. And what I will do quickly, just check the incidents between these top three. Light Shock is close to a penalty. Swain hasn't hit any sort of penalty. Binary is close to a penalty. Wow, that is... So they've got to be careful, because Swain is driving perfectly while those two are pushing the limits a little bit. Now, I think that's we've seen this season that if anyone is going to go through the race without penalty, it is Master Swain. But there is damage there to Xbox Nuthead. I think he spun it. He has. He's let pingers through. Is that damage? And it's full wets for Squidgy Genie down in 15th as well.
Ooh.
Yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is Squidgy Genie. I think.
I shouldn't laugh, but yeah, it is Squidgy Genie, who's he's got half front wing again on that Haas, and goes straight over the bump coming down to Mirabeau. And yeah, it's definitely not time for full wets, as if Provamini gets a penalty as well. So these penalties, like you said, Gareth, are starting to roll in from the drivers, and that gap now between Master Swain and Binary up to a second. So Binary backing off a little bit, maybe because he's got 2 warnings.
It could be that, or it could, you don't really know. It could be one driver that's just, Swain might have just found his feet, or Binary might have just made a mistake somewhere. These drivers are, at the top of their game in this league for a reason, as Squidgy receives a 3-second time penalty, unsurprisingly, on those wet tyres. But Swain and Light Shock, I think, pretty much are just exchanging or sector times. There's not really much between them.
No, not at all. They're both very good drivers. You've got the quick, but Squidgy Genie retires from the session. Is that on? Where is that? Is that on track, or is that in the pits? Because it's in the pit lane. Okay, so no safety car. You've got the Calm Collective Master Swain versus the rash and quick Binary. So it's the opposites between the drivers here in Monaco, and 2 different strategies that work in these games. So I like how they're head to head at the moment on circuit. But yeah, unfortunately for Squidgy Genie, he's really not had the best run. Gareth, he got a P3 in the very first race in Azerbaijan, and since then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DNFs including today, and 1 race ban. So Squidgy Genie's year has gone from bad to worse, really, unfortunately for him.
And at Baku, it probably, arguably should have been a race victory for him as well.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but we're Binary seems to be much faster in Sector 1, and then as soon as Sector 2 and 3 happen, Swain has so much more grip and pulls away. And I did see through Anthony Nodes at the beginning of lap 19, Binary make a huge, I say huge, it's huge in comparison to the league it's in, which just a little bit of that slide through Anthony Nodes, and it cost him 6/10, but he's right up the back of Master Swain now, and you do wonder where an overtake, if possible, if it could happen, where it will happen for Binary.
Well, it's difficult, like we said, it's difficult to overtake at the circuit, and with no DRS, less traction on track, it is literally waiting for the driver ahead to make a mistake. And the only options really are, I mean, coming out the tunnel into the Noble chicane, or really turn one. But it is so tricky to make a move here. And I'm just looking at the gap between Swain and Lightshock. It's staying between 3.6 and 3.9. That gap not really moving. So I wonder whether Binary could potentially close that gap. But he's got to overtake the master of staying cool, calm and collected, Master Swain, in second place at the moment, as the rain looks to be starting to get a bit heavier now, Gareth.
Yeah, and you see the Ferrari of Xbox Nuthead, so Binary's teammate, into the pits for a set of full wets. Now this could just be, as Swain nearly drops it through the swimming pool section. I've not seen him do that before. So is it getting to that point? Sinful Chris puts a 3-second time penalty to his name. Will Swain pit? No, he doesn't. So it is getting to that point. I've never seen Swain nearly lose it like that before around Monaco, let alone anywhere else. But he's still managing to keep that space to Lightshock about the same. So it hasn't cost him that much.
No, it's. I think he managed to lose in an area which is very difficult to overtake. So and it's, you almost run straight line that chicane. So he made the mistake at the right point on circuit, but he's tiptoeing his way down to Mirabeau with a pouncing horse directly on his gearbox, but no moves as of yet from second and third. I mean, further back, Strachan and fourth, big old gap to him. Jolly made a mistake and he went straight on at Mirabeau, so I'm not sure what happened to Jolly. He's down to seventh from fifth. Yellow flag to sector 2,
and that's
someone's made a mistake again.
It's the Ferrari of Xbox Nuthead. He's sideways. And he's lost half a front wing. It's definitely not time for full wets then, it seems. As the number 36 is struggling through this race. And maybe myself and Mr. Tazo jinxed him on the extra show on Wednesday. We both know how much of a success Nuthead. He won it last year. He's had 3 race victories at Monaco since season 9, and into the pits he goes.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so was that 7 seasons? Well, 5 seasons and no, 6 seasons. Sorry, and that much success. You kind of feel for the guy. If I could just give him points for the effort he puts in, I would. I think is the best way for it. But and that's not meant in a demeaning way. It's just he is just unlucky at times, and it's just not turning out right for him at the moment. Let's go back on board with Master Swain and Binary. That is the closest battle on track, other than Sloppy and Sinful Chris. Take 2. And we know how effective at overtaking Sinful Chris is, so I might go on board with that one in a minute, because Master Swain is doing a stand-up job of holding Binary back at the moment.
I mean, fair play to Master Swain and Binary. They're both going round together. No contact, concentration at the max, and they're both doing a fantastic job. We have seen, a slight lapse from Master Swain earlier on, but they're doing a great job, especially in these conditions. To all the drivers that are still on circuit. I mean, we've only had one retirement at Monaco, which is unseen, really. So well done to all drivers so far. Hopefully there's no more. I haven't jinxed anyone here, but that fight between Sloppy Cop and Sinful Chris Part 2 is heating up once again.
Yeah, it's just Sinful Chris has dropped off a little bit. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the distance between Nuthead and Pickled Avenger, because Pickled Avenger's on wet tyres, but Nuthead looking like he's absolutely reeling him in.
Oh, just another wall bang from Nuthead there, Gareth, and that's another front wing gone. Added to the tally.
Oh, is that another one? Oh, it is. And he really was reeling in Pickled Avenger as well. They're definitely not time for wets yet, but Sinful Chris, no, he hasn't caught back up with Sloppy Cop just yet. But it's a great drive from the solo McLaren driver this week. After, I would say, a week to forget for McLaren last time out. I think Sloppy ended up just outside the points, but his teammate, Family Guy, they both, I think they locked out the second row McLaren and then ended up both outside of the points. So not where you want to be in a McLaren, but at the same time, if Sloppy keeps up doing what he's doing, he's getting a good points haul this week.
Yeah, he will. I mean, McLaren need all the points he can get at the moment. Doing a great job in P5. I mean, all drivers are doing a great job, really, to keep the car on circuit in these wet conditions. More yellow flags in Sector 3, and there's a safety car. Will we see drivers coming in as Xbox nuthead? Commentators curse, and he is out of the Grand Prix here in Monaco for F1XL. That is really not what he wanted, Gareth.
No, it's not. I'm just trying to think. Is that...
drive-through penalty for Master Swain for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh. No, that's a harsh penalty, surely. Wait, Master Swain?
That's what I'm thinking. He was in the tunnel when that message came up, so I'm not sure how he's got a penalty. Let me double check in the race directive, because that was very strange from him. Let's go all the way to the bottom, because it would have been the most recent one. Yep, Master Swain speeding under safety car. My mistake. Apologies for that. But that's not what he wanted at all, and he's going to be held up in the pit stops.
And into the pits then goes Binary. Is that for another set of inters? That's another set of inters for Binary. So different play for Binary there. But obviously with the drive-through for... And that was enough time for him to actually come out, I think, in front of Straka. Will he come out in front of Straka? No, he won't. He will be behind Straka. But his main title rival, then... Other than Light Shock, sorry, there's two rivals, I suppose you could say. One's leading and one's going to have a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Now, that is going to be an interesting one to hear. Yeah.
You could see him braking very quickly in the tunnel. I don't know whether there was a glitch on Swain's screen. We'll have to have a chat to him afterwards, but he's going to have to... Whether he waits till the wet hits, I don't know. He's got, who's that, Pickled Avenger? No, Private Meaty right up on him as well. So he's got a car in between him and, Straka and Prophet Meaty between Binary, which is good for him for now. But that rain is really coming down now, and it looks like Prophet Meaty's overtaking some cars as well. Interesting under safety car.
I think he wants to try unlap himself to get himself into the swing of things. And 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wonder what that is on about. But no pit stops for any of the front runners just yet for the wet tyres. As Xbox Nuthead says in the chat, that was horrible. So not what he would have wanted for this week's race at all. You got to feel for the Ferrari driver. After a solid race last time out, he's not had the luck this time.
No, he hasn't, and Prophet Meaty is collecting penalties like the Tesco vouchers at the moment, because that's
he's qualified.
Well, there we go. He overtook the safety car by cutting turn 1, and then he got another penalty for ignoring yellow flag. So Prophet Meaty is gone from the Monaco Grand Prix, it looks like, and that's not good for the Williams team, with Pickled Avenger down in 13th place at the moment.
This is what Codemasters really need to sort out in this game, is they are allowed to unlap themselves at this point. So is it that difficult to code?
Seems so.
So, safety car still out. We're on lap 26 of 39, halfway through, going through with the, not Raskas, I knew I'd get it wrong, Nouvelle Chicane. Getting everything mixed up. F1XL Pingers has gone into the pits for a set of wet tyres. He's going to find it difficult to catch up with the rest of the group in time. There is no safety car in this lap message yet. So if I was Swain, would I pit now? I think it's too late. I think whatever happens. Is it hard enough weather? Yes, it looks like it is. Everyone is darting in. Straka is. Binary is not.
Ooh. Well, that is interesting.
Neither is
Binary staying out.
Jolly.
Okay, so where does Master Swain pop out? He pops out in 4th.
He's jumped.
So he's only...
He's jumped Light Shock, but Light Shock is...
wow.
Light Shock's down 2 places. Straka is up into 3rd. Sinful Chris hasn't pitted either. Straka is in effect leader of this Grand Prix because those top 2 have to pit.
Jeez, look at the weather now, Gareth. It is raining sideways on my screen. Jeez, I've never seen weather like it before. They would have cancelled this Monaco Grand Prix, red flagged it at least if it happened in real life. The spray is enormous coming out of the hairpin from the drivers, but top 2 have got to pit. It is treacherous on track.
Well, those 2 have to pit. Why haven't they? Why didn't they? The safety car is in this lap. Well, if it's not, then they've just saved themselves. Well, they would have saved themselves a hell of a lot of trouble. But Master Swain will take his drive through pretty much straight away, I think, and jump them because they have to change tyres, whereas he's just driving through the pit lane. Have they made a mistake? They have. Safety car is in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Binary trying to warm up those tyres. He's like driving on ice with the lack of tread on those green tyres, and he's really going to struggle off the restart now. Whether he comes in the pits, we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, it's Madman that's in between them. So, Binary's gone early. Sinful Chris has done Madman kind of done a second hold up, a second safety car, and that's given. Oh, Straka's going up the inside of Sinful Chris early into the Santa Vart, and Straka, as Sinful Chris has now been caught by Swain as well. The wet tyres really are the ones to be on, and Master Swain and Straka have caught Sinful Chris sleeping, but will Sinful Chris complain about the Mercedes there? That is going to be an interesting one. And up the inside there is Light Shock on the Alfa Romeo. And, well, you do wonder why that Binary and Sinful Chris just didn't pit. But Straka is now fighting along with Swain to catch back up with Binary. And what's your take on Madman there with Sinful Chris?
I don't know whether Madman, because now he's ghosted. He's paused it, but I don't know whether he was ghosted at the start of the restart, whether it was the ghost car that was restarting the race for him. I don't know, but that's not what he wanted. And the aggressive move with Straka on Sinful Chris, because Chris has got half a front wing now after hitting the wall at turn 1. So really not what he wanted. But the thing is, will Binary come to pit? Straka's already caught him. Straka is in net P1 here. Binary's got a pit. He doesn't. He stays up for another lap. Surely he can't do 11 laps here on those inters.
He's really struggling. You can see it. And Master Swain actually struggled there as well. Trying to go around the outside of Santa Vaughn is Straka, but he switches back onto Binary. Binary's really struggling, and he's got no answer to the flying Renault of Straka R11, and he's up into P1, rightfully so, and now Binary is going to hold Swain up. Maybe that's his plan. No, it's not. Master Swain is up the inside into Mirabeau, and Binary has made a mistake. Did Sinful Chris pit? No, Sinful Chris stayed out. And you do what? That's 11 laps they've got to. Well, it's punishment, really. They're punishing themselves for not pitting.
They shot themselves in the foot here. A really big mistake from Chris and Binary. And Binary could have been a 3-time winner here. And Light's just going to go around his outside. No, he will not. Will he get him on the brakes? No, he went. Oh, geez, that was close. Almost hitting the back.
Lightshock's got damage.
The Ferrari. Oh, he had hit him then. That damage to the AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri has front
is.
wing damage, and now I don't know if that was because of that, but Master Swain has already pulled out a 3-second gap to this lot. I know he's got to pit next lap, I think. No, into the pits now for the Red Bull, sorry, for his drive-through. It's probably the best point.
Again. I'm not sure what he's playing at here. He's losing so much time as Sloppy Cop's managed to get past Lightshot. They're side by side, come into turn 1. Can he hang it up the inside? Yes, he will, but Lightshot gets pushed into the wall, but Sloppy Cop up the inside as well, but damage to both these cars, both have half a front wing. Master Swain comes out in P6, I think that's P7, as Gunhead gets past him, and Master Swain comes straight into a big old battle with Jolly behind him, and Jolly's trying to go up the inside through turn 3, through Mazanay. Can he get past? No, he can't, and Master Swain stays just about in P number 7, but Master Swain commanded a huge amount of traffic here, Gareth, and that's exactly not what he wanted with 9 laps left of this Grand Prix.
Not at all, especially with Gunhead on the slow intermediate tyres here. And that's what is Simple Chris and Gunhead and Binary all holding out on those intermediate tyres. And I don't know why, because they're holding people up. Lightshock is falling away from Sloppy Cop. And Stracker has a 10-second lead already. Oh, Swain's gone.
Oh, he's gone in the tunnel. He spins around, but that is the end to his race now, Gareth. I think he's going to be overtaken by Pingers, and it's time to put that car back into the pits. And
Gunhead.
That's really unfortunate.
Gunhead and him were side by side into the tunnel. And I think just I'm going to have to, well, I can't wait to re-look at that. It looks, I can't say what it could be, because either way I could end up pissing both drivers off. But it's such an unfortunate event for them. Gunhead's managed to hold it and going into the pits. The yellow, there is a safety car, but Binary still hasn't pitted for that safety car. So into the pits then Swain. Neither has Sinful Chris. Why haven't these drivers pitted?
Just watched Lightshot going into the pits after damaging the front wing, and he's put the inters back on.
Swain's put the wets on, so he's just outside the points with this. I definitely didn't think it was that sort of... You saw the pace difference between Stracker and Binary.
Yep. I'm quite confused why they would have put the inters back on the car. The question is, will Binary come in now? Or will he go till the end of this Grand Prix on those intermediate tyres with 8 laps left here in Monaco? It's multiple strategies here from the drivers, and I don't know which one is correct or not. I think wets is probably the best option at the moment with the rain coming down.
Well, we're on our third safety car as Madman receives a drive-through penalty, for falling too far back. Now, I've never seen that before.
No. I mean, it does give you a prompt to stay within a certain time, doesn't it? So I'm not sure whether he was concentrating properly and didn't see it, potentially. I don't know. But again, Gareth, Binary still not coming into the pits. He's staying out on those inters.
And I think that's Niels coming into the pits on wets. Now, is he going on to intermediate tyres? Let's go on board with Niels. It's inters for the Alfa Romeo.
Wow. Okay. It definitely looks too wet in my eyes to be on those inters. The amount of spray coming off the cars, and is it going to... I can't see it drying up within 7 laps. I really can't.
No. I just don't know. Binary then up into P2 after all this, and well, from what 2 mistakes we thought he's made, he's still up at the top. 2 different sets of tyres going on for the drivers that are left. We have lost 3 drivers. They are Prophet Meaty, Squidgy Genie and Xbox Nuthead. Squidgy retired in the pit lane. Prophet, after trying to unlap himself, got disqualified in the next box and not head in the tunnel. No, sorry, it was to back that he lost it. And then we've had a major incident between Gunhead and Master Swain in the tunnel and causing another safety car. But it is, wow, what a horrible race. The weather is not with it either. And the safety car is still out for one more lap, which should mean Master Swain and F1XL Pingers catches up to this train.
They should, yeah. I mean, Monaco is bad enough in the dry, but let alone the hissing rain we have here in the south of France. I mean, this is very unusual weather, and no one seems to be wearing any coats. So I don't think they expected the rain to happen here in Monaco for the spectators-wise. But rain, it's not coming down as much as it used to, so maybe there's a very drier line forming on circuit. So maybe we were wrong about the inters and the wets.
It might very well be, but they still got to overtake these drivers and keep it out of the wall. That's the other thing, is keeping the cars out of the wall. And you do wonder whether, if Master Swain never got that drive-through penalty, what that would be for him right now. Light Shock obviously P6, another what-if for him. But Sinful Chris and Binary seems to have played the game absolutely right at the moment. But we'll find out how right once his safety car goes in.
Yeah, we will. And there are a lot of penalties as well, which is no surprise here in Monaco. So that's something to contend with. I know Chris has got a penalty. I know the top three have a Straka might have a penalty. We'll have to have a look later on. But I'm hoping the safety car comes in now. As I talk about it, it does come in, and we will be lights out and away we go once again in a couple of seconds' time.
I wonder how Straka will start this. Well, we'll start the restart. Whether he will do it right at the last moment or if he'll try and catch people out early. But he did build up a 10-second gap to all of these, as Binary really struggling for grip, and Straka's gone, and here comes Sloppy Cop. Will he have an upside through this at all? Sloppy is going for it, but he's just too far back. Binary, it is, from point on view from the camera, it still looks torrential, and Inters surely are the wrong tyres.
I think so. There's still a lot of standing water on the circuit, and those wet tyres are able to part away with the water better than, of course, those intermediate tyres. But Sloppy Cop's got to get past them as quickly as possible. Of course, Sloppy Cop's got half a front wing on that McLaren, so he will be struggling even on the correct tyre.
You just look at Binary try and go through any of those corners, and he nearly spins out. As Sinful Chris then nearly hits the wall at the hairpin, and he's got Jolly, the Mercedes, all over the back of him. And there is two lapped cars between him and Light Shock. Then, and Light Shock's got a lot of work to do there. Master Swain then has got past Gunhead, and now he's going to look at a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's Sloppy Cop.
Yeah, he's binned it at the Nova chicane, and is that any damage to that front wing? No, it doesn't look like any more damage, but maybe hitting the corner, but that's not what he wanted, and he's down to 4th place, and Chris is the next one to try and overtake Binary, but of course Binary and Sinful Chris are on the same tyres.
WRS Cam receives a penalty there, and the wets definitely seem to be the tyre to race on, as Straka's still pulling away from Binary, but it does start to look a little bit lighter out there, so maybe towards the last lap or two everything will be ready for the intermediate tyres. But would they have already burnt their tyres out? Let's have a look quickly on board with Master Swain and Niels 998. They're side by side up the hill, still side by side. Oh! Master Swain's got no front wing, and he's retired from the session, and that looks very much... Niels just loses control, and into the wall him and Master Swain go, and that's not the race Master Swain would have wanted at all.
No, and he's going to lose a big chunk of his lead as well if Binary gets a big haul of points as well in the standings. Well as Chris and Lightshock, as well as Jolly as well in there. So that's definitely not what he wanted. He's already left the session. So a race to forget, I think, for Master Swain.
Yeah, gutting for the Red Bull driver. He's got a... Well, I suppose at least he had that 45-point buffer. It will reduce to 38, I think.
Depends where Binary finishes.
Yeah, it does depend. And into the pits then goes Niels, obviously. Let's have a look at Binary. We've got a few laps to go. Let's have a look. The top runner then, Stracker R11. 1 warning. Binary. 3 warnings, but no penalty. Sinful Chris. 5 second and a penalty. Sloppy then has 3 warnings and no penalty. What's going on? I thought it was 3 warnings was a penalty.
I thought it was. That's very strange.
Interesting nonetheless. But Binary's got 3 seconds behind Stracker, and then 3 seconds to Sinful Chris as well. Sloppy is returning to the fight with him, but with a bit of that front wing off, he's not going to be able to overtake him. But he could very well end up being on the podium because of the penalties for Sinful Chris. So Sloppy could still end up being there. Jolly still flying his way through in P5 for the Mercedes, but he has got Lightshock behind him, who's is on the Inters, and he is looking a bit more racy. The Inters seem to be coming alive now, as Binary was actually clawed time back from Stracker up front as well.
I was going to say that gap is reducing quite quickly now between Stracker and Binary. It's definitely drier on circuit. Still a trail of spray from the drivers, but that gap is coming down ridiculously quickly now. Was at just above 3 seconds, and it's 1.8 within a lap. 1.7. It's ticking down, Gareth. That's Binary might get this at this rate.
Yeah, he could very well. He's still got to overtake as WRS Cam now pits as well. I don't think it matters how many penalties WRS Cam gets. I don't think he's going to lose 1 minute 27 because Pickled and Madman are retired.
Lightshock's made a mistake through the tunnel, and that's no front wing for Lightshock, and that's another one for the AlphaTauri team to fix here. He is so much quicker than Jolly at the moment, but a mistake made through the exit of the tunnel, and that is another front wing, like I said, for AlphaTauri to fix, as Lightshock gets a penalty for his troubles. It has not gone to plan once again for Lightshock.
I don't know if he will
Monaco.
pit, I think he would just stick it out. Doesn't look like he's pitting. He's just going to stick it out.
Yeah.
As is Stracker, he's just going to hold up Binary for as long as he can. Sinful Chris is starting to pull away from Sloppy back in the battle for the final podium points. I think Sinful Chris needs 8 seconds to make sure he keeps the podium place from the McLaren. But 2 laps remaining, and Stracker so close to take his first victory, and it could all go to pot here with the strategy Sinful Chris and Binary have pulled out, because you've still got to wonder if he can't take it because of penalties, can he? But Binary, he keeps heating up those back tyres hugely, just spins it out a little bit, and surely that's not doing his tyres any good at all.
No, I don't think it is, but he's got to be careful now. He's got to pick his right moment to make a move on Stracker. He's going to realistically, he's going to have one attempt to make that move on Stracker. And Stracker, he's got to have to park it through Anthony Knowles if he wants to get a lead. He takes a wide line through Raskas. What can Stracker do? Oh, he's down the inside to Anthony Knowles. That's not where you overtake, and he's made the mistake, and that's it, I think. Now, Gareth, and he's made a huge mistake through there, and I don't think he's going to have another opportunity.
I don't, and that's a very, very opportune. I say opportunist. That's just sticking it where he shouldn't really, which sounds very wrong indeed. But Lightshock has dropped 2 positions. He's now behind F1XL Pingers in P8. So he's lost it somewhere as Cam receives another penalty. And there's goes Stracker nearly losing it. Binary's going to go around the outside. Surely there's a little bit of contact. But Binary hasn't been able to take the move. And Binary is still trying, though. He's still pushing to get himself into a position.
He's trying his hardest, isn't he? Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. I'm not sure who that
looks like Gunhead.
Will we get? Is it Gunhead? No safety car, but still trying to concentrate on the battle for the leads. Binary's caught up quite quickly to the back of Stracker, like you mentioned, and he hold off the Ferrari? It's a couple more corners, Stracker, to try and win his first race of the season. They come through to back. Binary's he's gonna have to dive up the inside somewhere to try and get past him. We see it into Rask has to come round swimming pool over the bumps. He's pushing him through this corner. Oh, there's a bit of contact. He's trying to go down the inside. He loses the back end. Can he do anything through the last couple of corners? Is he going to try up the inside? No, he will not. Oh God, no, he won't. And I think Stracker
surely the Renault's got it.
The race.
Binary's trying to go up the inside though. Sorry.
Oh Jesus Christ, that was close, wasn't it?
0.16 of a second, and crazy, absolutely phenomenal end to the race. It's not over there. Pingers is trying to get past Jolly through the line as well, but it's not going to happen. Lightshock coming home in a quite somber 7th position there, as Gunhead will follow him across the line and actually take that position off of the AlphaTauri, so into P7 for Gunhead. And P8 for Lightshock there. Over the line comes the Dutchman of Niels 998, and some controversy there as well as we wait for WRS Cam to finish the points. But let's have a quick look at the pit stops and go through, and how many front wing changes through all that. Oh my God. I think we could be looking into the hundreds. But what a race for the Renault. They scored 26 points. Simple Chris receives the driver of the day. And it is a pretty good drive from the Alfa Romeo driver. But let's have a quick look at this. Stracker, the first race of the season, he has won. And I think it's the first time he's won in the top league in F1XL. But he's alongside Binary and Simple Chris on the podiums now. And we'll wait and see for the rest of the positions. But the first time we've seen a Renault at the top spot this season as well. But let's just quickly run down the final finishing order. As we well know, it is Stracker on top. It was Binary who receives the fastest lap of the race as well in P2. So 19 points for the Ferrari driver. In P3 is Sim4 Chris for the Alfa Romeo team. P4 is Sloppy Cop. P5 is Jolly and Mercedes. P6 is F1XL Pingers. P7 was the racing point of TES Gunhead with TES LS16 of the Alfa Romeo in P8. The Dutchman Niels 998 is in P9, and rounding up the points scoring position, it was WRS Cam in P10. TES Madman and Pickled Avenger stuck through it, even though they were a lap down for the majority of the race. And we did lose Master Swain, Prophet Meaty, Xbox Nuthead, and Squidgy Genie. Now, what a crazy race we had, and no comment through all that. I've got some interesting news about F4, which I'm going to love to speak about later on. But let's get the race victory, race victor, and the rest of the guys in here. But quickly before we get them speaking, Ollie, driver of the day for you.
I think I have to agree with the game and say Simple Chris for me, gaining 11 positions on where he started at Monaco is massively impressive. I guess Stracker did well from 5th, but go from 14th to 3rd. Now that is fair play to him. That's a great job.
don't know where I would go for it. Like Sinful Chris is a great shout. I think if it wasn't for Straka and his determination, I would go for Simple Chris. But I've got to give it to Straka. He's driven a great race and did everything right in the sense of pitting when he had to, and it just worked out.
It did indeed, and we can now talk to Straka, the man who won here in Monaco. How much water have you lost in your body? Because that must have been a sweat that's in the rain at Monaco.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm as soaked as I would be if I was at Monaco in that race, to be fair, because Binary made me work to hell for that.
It looked tough. I mean, Monaco in the first place is tough, but when it's raining, like full wet tyres, it must have been so difficult to negotiate the circuit when the rain was coming down like that.
It would have been fine. It was more the fact that because it started clearing up right at the end, the inters on Binary's car just switched on, and it was so hard. I was aquaplaning everywhere. But yeah, no, that was tough. Very tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. But first win of the season, so you must be over the moon.
100%. Like, I'm still shaking a little bit. I don't care what happens for the rest of the season now.
Well, congratulations, man. It was good to watch, and from fifth to first is not bad at Monaco. But let's talk to the man who finished in P2 Binary. Difficult race, but still second spot. You must be still pretty happy with that in the conditions and how difficult it was in Monaco.
Yeah, well, if you ask me how I'd feel about finishing P2 and about lap 27, I'll take it, honestly, I'd take it. But knowing exactly what happened at the end there and how much pace I had, I'm a little bit disappointed. I could have got the win. I wanted the triple.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been great to have 3 wins in a row, and it was tough. I mean, was it because we were questioning in the commentary box why you hadn't pitted, because everyone else, of course, went on the wet tyres and you were slipping back and struggling, but you just knew at the end that the rain was going to slow down, and I presume you just stuck it out and hope for the best at the end.
Yeah, well, you know that Monaco 9/10 of the rule is that you have track position. Like you want track position more than anything else. So
yeah.
When I saw like the 3 cars in front pit, I was on fresh inters because I put under the second safety car, I think it was. So I knew I had to sort of stay out, because if I was going to follow them in, I know that Mark Lightshot got held in the pits. So obviously I'm in a Ferrari box with all the cars coming in, so I probably would have been held as well. So I felt with the safety car, it's going to be slow. Yes, it's going to be heavy rain. It's going to be a bit shit. But
Yeah.
I thought if I can get through this and just get to the inter conditions again, I would have a chance of doing better. But kudos to Raka. He put his car in the right place and just couldn't get it. One more lap maybe.
Yeah, one more lap. I think you may have had it. It was close at the end. But congratulations on finishing in P2. So let's talk to the man who finished in P3. Started in P14 and managed to get up to P3, which is a fantastic job. Sinful Chris. I mean, you must be elated starting in 14th and managed to get on the podium here in Monaco.
Buzzing. What an eventful race. Pulled off some dicey overtakes in the dry. That was exciting enough for me, let alone when the rain came. I got a 5-second penalty from that cluster in the first lap, which served and was always going to appeal that later on. Thankfully, I don't really need to, because it's not going to affect my result either way. But yeah, it was so tough, and I had wing damage at the end there, so it was just about trying to keep the car in a straight line rather than binning it in the wall like a few drivers done. I think we counted 31 wing changes that race, so it was just
Jeez.
It was crazy, man, absolutely crazy. But yeah, delighted to be P3 after a tough quali session.
Yeah, and I mean, in Monaco, it's tough enough in the dry, and let alone in the rain. And of course, next week we're at another street circuit in Singapore. I mean, for you, how is that a track you enjoy? Is it something you need to practice for with it in the coming week?
Yeah, I definitely need to practice. I don't actually think I've drove that track yet on this game, so it'll be one I need to sort of thrash out through the week and get accustomed to it. But nah, XL's a lottery at the minute, and as we've seen, anyone can win on any given day, and long may it continue.
Yeah, it's great from our point of view in the commentary box, and for those watching, when you got so many different winners. But congratulations to the top three in Straka, Binary and Sinful Chris for their positions here in Monaco. And I'll hand it back to Gareth to run off the stream tonight.
Fantastic. What an absolute race we've had. No words really describes it. Really, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, I don't know how to end this show because so much has gone on. The championship leader has dropped some huge points. We've had a new race victor for the season and first ever for him as well. And, well, first ever in F1, I should say. And he's now jumped Sinful Chris as well. I'm sure Sinful Chris is not going to be happy with that. So there's a little bit of an extra battle going on for the ASR spaces as well. But what an absolute incredible race we've had. And we'll catch it all with all the front wing changes through all the leagues on Wednesday's show at 1900 hours. That'll be a great one to watch. We've had two maiden victories in their league already, I've been reported. So that is going to be a crazy one to talk down as well. And well, for us for tonight, we are, we're going to say goodbye. I apologise for missing qualifying. I know qualifying is such an integral part for the Monaco Grand Prix, but we did, well, Simple Chris made up for it in his overtakes during the race. But for now, we'll catch you
Anytime.
in the next one.